Folks, as we turn the bottom of the hour, join me in welcoming Baylor men's basketball coach Scott Drew is with us. Coach, welcome to you.
How are you doing? I like this pen, man. Look at that green and gold. I like that.
I know somebody. I can get you one of those. Welcome to you. We appreciate your being here tonight.
Well, thanks for having me.
Good. You recovered from the late night the other night?
Man, I tell you what, it's hard. It's hard.
You're
trying to go to bed at 5 a.m., isn't
right,
it? Yeah.
Right. In bed at 5, up at 9, and struggled through yesterday. Okay, today. But that was the late night. You know, that sort of speaks to the expanded Big 12. This was a game at Arizona and a big matchup that ESPN wanted to televise. So it was a 10 p.m. tip-off Central Time, 9 p.m. Arizona time. But for ESPN, you do it, right?
Yeah.
Right? You don't say no.
You know, when we were coming back, I was like, do you think anyone's up to watch this?
Yeah. I kept hearing from people, didn't you?
Did you? Not during the game.
You didn't during the game. I did, and some folks would admit, well, I dozed off a little bit, but then I came back, and, Baylor was within 10. So that second half was really good for you.
Yeah, cut it to 9 with 3 minutes to go, so really proud that the guys fought back to give us a chance because early in the year we might not have been able to do that.
And the road trip, Arizona State on Saturday, won that game, had to go to overtime, but won that game, fell to Arizona. So a 1-1 road trip out there. And, I mean, any road win is like gold, isn't it?
In the Big 12 last year, 33% of the road teams got wins, so it's hard to get a road win. Normally you split on the road. You win your home games, it makes for a good year. When you win the first one, though, then you get a little greedy. Yeah. You want that second one. So, but really thought we started out right with Arizona State. Really controlled that game until the last 10 minutes, and they did a good job. And that's what the home crowd does. It puts you on, makes you uneasy. And really for us, we had a road game where at UConn we were down, and Iowa State we never really threatened. So that was the first time on the road we've had a lead, had the home team get into it as far as crowd noise, momentum, and we're able to fight back in overtime. So a good growing experience, hopefully something that'll help us the rest of the season, and I loved how we responded in overtime.
Good chance to remind everybody these environments we go to on the road are just so tough, and we need that same environment here at Foster Pavilion.
Oh, 100%. Why the Big 12 is such a – basketball in particular is the hardest sport to win on the road because the proximity of the crowds. And I go back always to Sports Illustrated. They did a study, and they found out officials were human, and they're influenced by how loud and how close and how threatening, just because that's reality, and players are motivated by it for the home team, and the visiting team can be rattled because of it, and it does affect communication. You see that in football when it gets down to the goal line, but we're really at the goal line the whole game.
That's a good point. And you played shorthanded, really, the last 4 games. Yeah. You played really 7 guys, the Magnificent 7, and that's tough, isn't it, to be shorthanded as far as personnel?
Yeah, definitely don't recommend it.
Right.
But what even makes it a little tougher in our situation is both of them play similar positions, and when you play similar positions, since football's still going on, I said if you lose 2 quarterbacks, 2 linebackers, 2 safeties, it affects the way you play versus if it's spread out.
It's fun to see your brother Bryce out there. Of course, he's at GCU in Phoenix, and saw your dad the other night at Arizona, and it's fun, isn't it, to get to be with them?
Always good to see family, especially the older you get in life, the less opportunities you have, and the busier seems you are with your family and your job. And during season, it's really hard to see family because it's such a grind. So playing out there and being out there for several days was nice.
Good. Is Bryce's son named Bryson?
Yeah, Bryson.
Is that right?
Yeah.
And he was in
Bryce's son, yeah, Bryson.
That's what I meant. Bryce's son, yeah. He was in Tucson the other night. I saw him after the game.
Oh, yeah, he'll do anything to be able to stay up late.
Yeah. I mean, that's pushing him. And it was like 11:30 there, and he's here, and that's in Tucson, so they got to drive back home afterward.
And that's a good hour-and-a-half drive, too. So that was, but it's great having family and friends at games cheering you on because you know how tough it is on the road.
Yeah. This is funny. I didn't get a chance to tell you, but we had who do we have? Jeremy Roach on with us on radio postgame. And Bryson's there, you know, kind of soaking it all up. And we finish and go to a break, and he said, Is VJ coming out?
Well, VJ gave him a pair of his shoes, so that's why. That's why he's a big fan.
Yeah,
so.
well, I could tell he was a big fan.
And our players done a great job of that in the community and with little kids trying to sign autographs or give them something. And,
yeah.
It's amazing how far that goes.
All right, here's a question. Somebody asked Michael Woodson, how many pairs of tennis shoes do the tennis guys go through? How many pairs of shoes do your guys go through over the course of a season?
Well, ours kind of got a cheat code because not only do they get Baylor and then what they buy, but a lot of times they come from Nike AAU programs that also send them shoes. So, but they're really generous with them.
Yeah.
And they love giving them away.
That's a bunch. Mm-hmm. That's really cool to be that generous. Mm-hmm. Continuing with Coach Scott Drew, Baylor men's basketball coach, we got some questions from the audience for you.
Fire away.
All right. By the way, I love the hoodie. Y'all like this hoodie? Yes. Baylor basketball has those available at the Baylor bookstore, also in gray and gold. And the Spirit Shop. Yeah, Spirit Shop is at the Herd at the Herd Center, so available there. Bookstore on campus or the Spirit Shop at the Herd Welcome Center. Question, Coach, from Scott Van Kelly. You know Scotty always has questions. Mm-hmm. He says, what is the biggest area you have seen in improvement with this team?
Definitely from the defensive end. Statistically, we were getting close to 100, and now we're in the 40s. So we made a big progression there, and hopefully we can continue and finish in the 20s somewhere.
Yep, very good. All right, next question from Teresa Van Kelly, right next to Scotty. The women's basketball team seems to have a lineup of different chewing gums. Maybe you've noticed. Maybe you haven't. Does your team enjoy gum, and if so, what is the favorite flavor?
Actually, I do not know how many chew gum. I chew a lot of gum, but it's always sugar-free now because had too many cavities over the years.
That's great. You've always done that? You've always chomped down on gum?
Yeah, normally it was that or candy, and the weight doesn't come off like it used to, so it's gum now.
Very good. So no particular flavor, just sugar-free?
Definitely green.
Oh, yeah, green, of course. Very good. All right, Jessica Van Kelly. We continue with the Van Kelly's family questions. She says, it's a good question. What is your most out there talent, out there in quotation marks, out there talent a player has had, past or present?
That is a really good question. A lot of our guys like to sing and dance, but I think Jaden Nunn's bowling ability and his family, his dad, I think, has had 16 perfect games.
Wow.
His other cousin, brother, a champion as well, and I think he's the one that's not as good. And he says he'll get 270, 250 at times. So, yeah.
There you go. How about that? Good to know about Jaden Nunn. Now, that's an out-there talent.
So if you need a partner in bowling, that's your guy.
That's the guy. Jaden Nunn recently engaged, and Norchad O'Meara recently engaged also.
Big Christmases.
How about That's right. They went home for Christmas and came back engaged.
Yeah, both of them said, basketball really is not as nerve-wracking compared to this.
That's pretty good. That's great. Speaking of Norchad, he and Jeremy Roach, Jalen Celestine, new to the program this year as transfers. Those guys came in, and what Pat and I like to say is when you go looking for these guys or they come looking for you, it's got to be a fit, right? It's got to fit your culture and the culture of joy with your program.
And we've really been blessed as a staff. You were just on the road 5 days with the guys, and we really have a good group of men, and I know our job's to win games, but it's just as equally as important to prepare champions for life, and that's not only athletically but spiritually, academically, and character formation. And you have to have players that want to get better in areas, they want to improve, they want to be humble servants and develop into great leaders.
Next action for the Bears comes up on, how about a Sunday game in Foster Pavilion? How about that? Baylor and TCU on Sunday.
Beautiful. You can pray for us first and then come to the game after. So, that's one thing. Playing Sundays is something the conference has started this year. And the good thing is as long as it gives everyone an opportunity to go to church in the morning.
Yeah. I said, talking to Brian Estridge, the voice of the Horned Frogs, earlier today, I said we could have a church service lead right into the game. We could combine the two playing on Sunday. How great would that be?
I don't know if we're praying for TCU, though.
And tell me if I'm right about this. The Big 12 in the conference schedule, there's a Sunday game every week now. This happens to be ours on this Sunday. Is that partially because there's more teams, so more games, and for TV windows, you kind of need to spread out to another day, and maybe for officials, you need to spread out to another day. Are those right?
I think you answered it.
No, do you think that's legit?
Everything starting with TV, it's a great window for the Big 12, and that's a reason. Second, you have more games, so it allows you to have more teams on TV. If you all play the same day, you don't get as much coverage. And then Saturdays is always the toughest day for finding officials because there's so many games on Saturday, and it allows you to usually get Final Four officials on days where there's not as many games.
Yeah. Like we've got Sunday, Kip Kissinger's here, Doug Sermons is here, Marcus Pettigrew is here. I mean, those are
Is that for this Sunday?
Yeah.
You know this stuff before I know it.
I was doing the score sheet today. I mean, but that speaks to those guys are probably doing games somewhere Saturday, and then they'll be here on Sunday.
Correct.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. So any other reasons that we've expanded, Big 12 has expanded to Sunday games?
Nope.
On the men's side? Because the women have done that for a while,
yeah.
But I think they're sort of looking for kind of alternate time slots ahead of a glut of men's games on Saturdays.
Correct.
All right.
Yeah.
So Sunday, 4 o'clock in Foster Pavilion, Baylor versus TCU. We kind of owe TCU, don't you think, from last year?
Always OTCU.
Always. Triple overtime last year.
Yeah.
So that'll be good. That'll be a good matchup for sure. Beyond that, Kansas State comes to town next week and next Wednesday. And then another one of those 2-game road trips, Utah and BYU on the same trip to the state of Utah.
And this will be something different, playing 3 games in a week.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. So we haven't had that ever in conference before. So.
And with the expanded schedule, 20 conference games this year, there's no open dates, are there? There's no open weeks at all.
Well,
even a half week.
And the great thing is it's fair for everybody. But as you know, when you play like 3 games in a week, injuries, you lose a key person for a week. That affects things. And that's where we're praying for health. We can all keep Jalen and Langston in our prayers.
Yes, please do. Hope they are constantly. Okay, so what through the first you played 16 games, I guess close to the halfway point of your schedule for the whole season. The losses that you have, what I keep reminding people of, I mean, it's 5 losses to 5 really good teams, all of them away from home.
Well, I think my son was trying to make me feel better. He said, our losses are all the teams that have been ranked in the top 3, except for Arizona, and they were 10th.
Yeah.
So you look at it, at one point, 4 losses came to teams all ranked in the top 3, and the other ones it was 10th in preseason. So no bad losses, all quality teams that all capable of going to Final Fours. At the same time, you'd like to get us healthy and really start to, down the home stretch, really have a good rotation, have a good feel for what we're doing and how we're doing things, and put yourself in a great position to be playing your best basketball come the end of the season.
Yeah, perfect. I asked you, or you talked about VJ Edgecombe a little bit. Can I ask you about Rob Wright, who has come in and gosh, he's fun to watch, and he just doesn't seem like a freshman in any way.
Well, Rob was blessed playing at Mount Verde for a team that has a bunch of guys that will go down as maybe the best high school team ever.
Yeah.
I've heard them and one other team from Mount Verde compared.
Wow.
But with that, going into hostile arenas and also every day going against that competition really sets you up for college. And you look at it, everyone on that team that he played with is all doing well in college.
Good. Final thought, Foster Pavilion, Sunday, 4 o'clock, TCU. First full year in Foster Pavilion, and that means you guys are there, your offices, training room, weight room, nutrition center, all of that. Has it been as good, this first full season as it was a half year last year?
Well, it's been better. We haven't lost in the Foster
yet.
Knock on wood. So, yeah, it's going really well. So, Beautiful facility. The crowd has really done a great job in helping us protect home court. And obviously the games we have ahead of us are even bigger because every game you play leads to the next one, which you have more at stake. And you got to win your home games. And to do that, you really need the home crowd. So hopefully Sunday, hopefully Wednesday, students are back, and hopefully they're excited. I know sometimes they get discouraged if they can't get tickets ahead of time, but if you come to the ticket window, I like your chances of getting in. Matt Johnson likes students in the gym.
We do. They bring the energy, don't they?
Yes, they do.
That's cool. Coach, thanks for being here. Get that order taken home to Kelly from Rudy's, and thanks for being here, and we'll see you Sunday.
Appreciate you, Baylor family.
Coach
Thank
Scott
you very
Drew,
much.
appreciate Coach Drew being with us tonight. Baylor and TCU next up Sunday, 4 o'clock in Foster Pavilion. Then Kansas State and Coach Tang come to town next upcoming Wednesday at 8 p.m. in Foster Pavilion.